I thought the meeting was productive. I thought it was more productive than the other meetings we've had, but we still have differences. We left the meeting with directing the members and the staff to get back together, work through the night, knowing where some of our differences lie, see if there's other ideas of where we could work through. But I've been very clear ever since February 1st. I mean, here we are, June 1st being the deadline. This is not how government should work. This is not how the Republicans want it to work. When I got elected Speaker, as early as January 15, I requested a meeting with the President regarding debt ceiling. And I sat with him on February 1st saying, let's work through this together. Let's find where we can find common ground, that we can curve the amount of spending, make our economy stronger, curve inflation, and make us less dependent upon China. But he told me for 97 days they wouldn't meet with us. That's really why we're where we are today. The House Republicans, they took action. The Senate never did anything. And that also made it much more difficult, because you would have had two bills that you could conference together. We've been working, as you know, day in and day out, trying to get to an agreement. I've been very clear with the President from day one. We're not going to raise taxes. We've got more revenue coming in to government in a 50-year average than any other time in the history. Only 2 other times did we have this higher percentage. But the problem is we're spending more than almost any time in modern history. So it's a spending problem. We should pull back money that's been wasted. We should help people get jobs by having work requirements. We've seen that work time and again. We should find ways that we cap the amount of spending going outlay, because the Democrats had spent so much. Even Joe Manchin had thought of that idea of a 1% cap going forward. I think these are a lot of productive ideas that we have out there, and I think we can, at the end of the day, come to a common ground agreement. And so,
what I sense from the White House, is a lack of urgency. I'm chair of the Financial Services Committee. I'm worried about the impacts on the markets. I think to play brinksmanship is not wise when it comes to where we are with the banking system, with the economy. And I think we should have a sense of urgency from the White House team that was not evident in this meeting. The fact is, with every debt ceiling, we take stock of our spending. When Democrats controlled the House and the Senate with a Republican president, they used that opportunity to raise spending. The Speaker has made clear to his negotiating team, Congressman Graves and I, that it was very important that we spend less money next year than we're spending this year. That was imperative to us.
Mr. Speaker, as you get closer to this deadline, if you still don't have a deal, is there any scenario where you would do a clean up or down increase on the debt limit?
A clean debt ceiling? No. No.
What do you want? But if you're
No.
May 31st.
No, let me be clear. No, we're never putting a clean debt ceiling on the floor. You want to know why? It's like having a child, giving them a credit card, and every single time they hit the limit, you just raised it. To now you owe more money on the credit card than you make in an entire year. Because that's what we have as Americans, that we owe more than our entire economy is. So when are you going to change the direction? We've passed the bill. We have the ability to do this. You don't have to worry, because we have a bill over on the Senate side that they can pass that it raises the debt ceiling. We can get this job done now. I don't think it's productive for anybody to keep kicking the can down the road. And let me just tell you, for every new American that's so excited, that was blessed today by having a new child, by kicking that can down the road, that child got a $94,000 bill today, and they've only been alive one day.
Mr. Chairman, you said, Mr. Chairman McHenry, you said that there's a lack of seriousness. How do you bridge that gap?
No, I think you're misinterpreting.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say lack of seriousness. No, absolutely not. The President sent a credible team.
I'm sorry, I misheard.
2/3 of you know Shalonda Young personally, right? He sent warriors up here on behalf of his administration. That's who he sent up. That's who we're negotiating with. They're a highly credible team. They're a tough negotiating team. These are tough discussions that we're having, but they're honest. We're honest with each other. So what I talked about was a lack of urgency. Urgency. And I've been consistent about my position here on the debt ceiling. I don't want brinksmanship. It is not in America's interest. It is not in America's interest for brinksmanship.
Is the spending freeze, is that enough to be a cut with inflation in your minds? Because they've offered a spending
Okay. Okay.
I want to make sure you
I'm not going to debate, but a freeze is not less. A freeze is spending the same amount. Oh my! You should run. You should run for office with the Democrats. My God. You're getting the liberal media concept here. Yes.
Republicans have not been able to agree to 302B numbers.
What do you mean? We passed the bill. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Let's talk about a probe. So, which one?
So, is it going to be more difficult to come? Are you relying on this negotiation with President Biden to come to that? And how are you going to rally Republicans around that final number that needs Democratic?
Very easy. Okay. So, when you have the debt ceiling, you're going to agree to a top line number, 302A. That will give the appropriations the number. So then they can work as the jobs they are to decide what takes priority and where spending will come out. The difficulty part is that we don't have that done yet, and we're in the middle of a debt ceiling discussion. But we know the timeline is June 1st, so we know this is all going to happen here pretty soon, and the appropriators will have that number to be able to work towards it.